Students, in my previous discussion, I had told you about IUPAC naming of organic compounds. I am quite sure that all of you have gone through, you have understood the concept and learned to apply it. I had given sufficient examples also to understand it. Now we will switch to another topic. Basic techniques that are involved in the study of chemistry, specifically organic chemistry. Techniques refers to the procedures, to the instrumentation, to the methods that are applied for the extraction of new compounds, for the separation of a compound from a mixture, identifying it by doing elemental analysis qualitatively and quantitatively. Whenever any new organic compound is discovered, we need to separate it, we need to purify it, we need to identify it. And during the process of identification, during the process of identification of the compound, we first do qualitative analysis, then we do quantitative analysis. So we have any new organic compound. So first of all, this organic compound is subjected to two processes. One is called qualitative analysis and other is called quantitative analysis. So qualitative analysis refers that what are the elements that are present in given compound. Say for example, water is made up of hydrogen and oxygen, carbon dioxide is made up of carbon and oxygen, methane is made up of carbon and hydrogen, ammonia is made up of nitrogen and hydrogen. So the processes that are done, processes, methods that are applied to identify the elements that are present in given compound is called qualitative analysis. So from a given organic compound, first thing is to identify what are the elements that are present in it. Then quantitative analysis refers to the processes or methods that are applied to calculate the amount of different elements that are present in given compound. And once these two steps are done, so at the end of both of these processes, at the end of qualitative analysis and quantitative analysis, we are able to know that what are the elements that are present and what is their percentage in compound. Once we know the percentage, we can calculate the number of moles and we can get the empirical formula of compound. Then molecular mass of compound is determined, and from empirical formula mass and molecular formula is determined. and afterwards structural formula is determined. In the start of discussion, in the start of this discussion, when I started teaching you organic chemistry, I told you that there are three different type of formula. There is one formula which is called empirical formula, that represents the ratio of atoms of different elements that are present in given organic compound. Then there is another formula which is called molecular formula, which tells us about actual number of atoms of different elements that are present in one molecule. And finally we have structural formula that refers to the sequence in which these different atoms are joined with each other to form that compound. So we are mainly concerned with these two things, qualitative analysis, quantitative analysis of organic compounds. And as we know that if it is an organic compound, then it must have carbon and hydrogen. This I told you earlier, that organic compounds are derivatives of hydrocarbons, and hydrocarbon is a compound which is made up of only carbon and hydrogen. So a given organic compound is either a hydrocarbon which is made up of only carbon and hydrogen, or it is a derivative of hydrocarbon in which it may also have nitrogen, sulfur, halogens and oxygen. So in general, most of organic compounds contains carbon and hydrogen as an essential ingredient in their molecule, and in addition to carbon and hydrogen it also have nitrogen, sulfur, halogens and oxygen. So during the process of qualitative analysis, we learned that how presence of carbon and hydrogen is determined in given organic compound, how presence of nitrogen, sulfur and halogen is determined in given organic compound, and in quantitative analysis section we learn how their relative percentage, how much carbon is present, how much hydrogen is present, how much sulfur is present in given organic compound we will learn. We will confine our discussion to this carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, sulfur only. So let us start with qualitative analysis. Qualitative analysis refers to the detection of elements present in given organic compound. And as I told you that organic compounds mainly contains carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, sulfur, halogens and oxygen. These are the most common elements that are present in organic compounds. So we first learn how presence of carbon and hydrogen is determined and how presence of nitrogen, sulfur and halogen is determined. Then we learn that how presence of oxygen is determined. Presence of carbon and hydrogen is determined with the help of one single procedure. Then nitrogen, sulfur and halogens can be determined with one single procedure, and presence of oxygen is determined separately. So first we learn detection of carbon and hydrogen. First we learn procedure, how it is done, and then we will learn chemistry involved in it. Now for the detection of carbon and hydrogen in given organic compound, this organic compound is mixed with copper oxide and heated strongly. Now vapors that are formed during this process is first passed through lime water and then it is passed through anhydrous copper sulfate. And if lime water becomes milky, presence of carbon is confirmed. And if anhydrous copper sulfate, which is white, turns blue, presence of hydrogen is confirmed. So this is the procedure which is applied for the detection of presence of carbon and hydrogen in the given organic compound. And during the process, given organic compound is heated strongly with copper oxide, and vapors that are formed during this heating, they are first passed through lime water. And if lime water turns milky, presence of carbon is confirmed. Then it is passed through the anhydrous copper sulfate, which is white in color. And after passing the vapors, if this copper sulfate turns blue, then presence of hydrogen is confirmed. Procedure is clear to everyone. Given organic compound, you have an organic compound in which you want to detect the presence of carbon and hydrogen. So you take little amount of this organic compound and heat strongly with copper oxide in a sealed tube, and vapors that are formed after heating or vapors that are formed during heating, they are first passed through lime water, then they are passed through anhydrous copper sulfate, and appearance of milkiness in lime water confirms the presence of carbon, and appearance of a blue color in anhydrous copper sulfate shows the presence of hydrogen. Now this is the procedure that we apply. And what is the concept behind it? What is the chemistry behind it? What happens? Organic compound that have carbon and hydrogen, when heated with CuO, this carbon is converted to CO2 and this hydrogen is converted to H2O. And this CO2 reacts with lime water to form milkiness, and this reacts with copper sulfate to form blue color. So when organic compound is heated strongly, with copper oxide, carbon present in the organic compound is converted to carbon dioxide, and this we know that when carbon dioxide is passed through lime water, a milkiness is produced. Similarly, hydrogen that is present in the given organic compound, is converted to water vapors, and these water vapors, when they come in contact with anhydrous copper sulfate turns blue. So CO2 reacts with lime water CaOH whole twice to form CaCO3 plus H2O, and this calcium carbonate is responsible for milkiness. Similarly, this H2O reacts with CuSO4 to form CuSO4 dot 5H2O, copper sulfate pentahydrate, which is blue in color, and this is anhydrous form of copper sulfate, which is white in color. So this is the procedure and chemistry. This is procedure and chemistry involved in the detection of carbon and hydrogen. To summarize it, given organic compound is heated strongly with CuO, and during this heating, carbon of organic compound is converted to carbon dioxide and hydrogen of organic compound is converted to water vapors. And when this carbon dioxide is passed through lime water, this lime water turns milky, and milkiness confirms presence of carbon in given organic compound. When water vapors are passed through anhydrous copper sulfate, Appearance of blue color confirms the presence of hydrogen in given organic compound. This is the chemistry involved. Carbon dioxide passed through lime water, calcium hydroxide. This forms calcium carbonate, which is insoluble and appears in the form of white precipitate, or we say that lime water has turned milky. And this anhydrous copper sulfate is white in color. When water vapors passes through it, these water molecules, they are associated with the crystal of copper sulfate and forms copper sulfate pentahydrate, which is blue in color. Now we come to the detection of nitrogen, sulfur and halogens. Why we had taken all these three together? Because all these three elements, nitrogen, sulfur and halogens, can be detected with one test. Their presence is detected with the help of Laisanet's test. This single test is used to detect the presence of nitrogen, sulfur and halogens. This test involves two steps. First step is preparation of Laisanet's extract, and second step is testing of individual elements from this Laisanet's extract. So first I discuss how this Laisanet's extract is made, what are the chemical changes takes place, what is chemistry involved in the Laisanet's extract. Then we will take up the testing of individual elements. For the preparation of Laisanet's extract, ignition tube is taken. And in ignition tube, little amount of organic compound and sodium metal is taken. Roughly 1.5 grams or 1 gram of organic compound is taken and mixed with sodium metal. Now it is first heated gently so that organic compound and sodium metal both melts and mixes with each other. Then it is heated to red hot for about 2 to 3 minutes. Then it is placed in a china dish filled with water. And in most of the cases, as this heated ignition tube comes in contact with water, it breaks itself. If it doesn't break with itself, then you break it with the help of a glass rod, crush it mix the contents with water and boil for 10 minutes. Then you filter it, and after filtering, filtrate that is obtained is called Leysanez extract. Little amount of organic compound is taken in an ignition tube with a piece of sodium metal. Ignition tube is a very small, 3 to 5 millimeters long, a very thin glass tube. When this is heated gently, organic compound and sodium metal both melts and become uniform. Then it is heated to red hot for 2 to 3 minutes. Then this ignition tube is placed in a china dish having water. Ignition tube is crushed. Contents of ignition tube is mixed with water, and this mixture is boiled for 5 to 10 minutes so that its volume reduces to half of its original volume. It is cooled and filtered, and filtrate that we get here is called Leysanez extract. And during this process, elements like nitrogen, sulfur and halogens that are present in covalent form in given organic compound, they are converted to their ionic forms. Nitrogen is converted to cyanide ions, sulfur is converted to sulfide ions, and halogens are converted to halide ions, and finally we detect the presence of these ions with the help of Leysanez extract. Thank you.